Hi, I am Alexandra and I am going to explain the end of the book. Finally, the men find out which ship set sail for the Black Sea and where it will moor. They plan to travel overland and sell Dracula's box from the outside with a bucket of the wild rose before the Count can leave. Mina will travel with them, as under hypnosis she can help to locate the vampire. Travelers arrive a few days before the ship to Varna, their destination. But surprisingly, it arrives at another port. When Mina and the men catch up to him, there is no trace of Dracula left. They assume that the Count wants to return to his castle. Mina, under hypnosis, indicates that Dracula is back in the water, probably sailing down one of the Carpathian rivers, bringing him closer to his castle. The pursuers split up. Harker and Homeworld follow Dracula on private on a steamboat while Dister Dear Seward and Morris following him on land. Finally, Van Helsing and Mina head straight for the castle, following the old route that Jonathan followed. The closer Mina gets to the castle, the more unpredictable she becomes and the less readable the hypnosis becomes. As night falls, only with the help of a circle of a oblea, that in Spanish is hostia, comes in a Van Helsing able to stop their three female vampires Harker encountered early from the posing of them. The next morning, Van Helsing leaves Mina under the circle's protection and heads to the castle alone. In the chapel, find the three coffins with the undead. He resists her seductive vision and drives a stake through their hearts. Then, with the help of another wafer, he disassembles Dracula's own coffin. Then he rushes back to Mina. From there, they see a group of gypsies approaching with a cart carrying Dracula's box. Morris and Dr. Seward, Harker, and Howard force the gypsies to stop. A fight ensues. Dracula's box falls on the cart. As the sun sets, Harker and Morris hastily open the coffin. Suddenly, Dracula is on his feet, edges glowing, but Morris and Harker catch him in the throat and hurt. Immediately, it disintegrates. It integrates into dust. Morris is wounded in the fight with the gypsies and dies. Knowing that Dracula is dead, the mark on Mina's forehead has also disappeared.
Hello, I'm Coral and I'm gonna explain what the movie is about. The movie is about Jonathan Harker, a lawyer who finds out that in Dracula's castle, Dracula acts weird and like a vampire. Mr. Harker follows Dracula to England, where the vampire tries to find new victims, and Mina, Mr. Harker's fiancée, was one of them. The Doctor Van Helsing starts with a group of confidants the fight against the vampire. Dracula has to run away, but he gets killed before getting to his castle.
Hi, I am Victoria and I'm going to present the biography author. Bram Stoker was born on November 8, 1470 in Cloftar, near Dublin. He was the third of 7 children of a burgage family of civil servants. During the first 7 years of his life, he suffered from various illnesses, could hardly walk on his own, and often had to stay in bed. Meanwhile, his mother told him fantastic stories. The abundant bent turned him early into a reflective child with a great imagining capacity. At the age of 8, he made a full recovery. He was then able to go to school, and later, when he was studying at Trinity College Dublin, he was even praised as an athlete. In 1817, he entered the Dublin Justice Administration as a civil servant. In a parallel, he wrote unpaid daily reviews for the Dublin Evening Mail and published the first short story. In 1876, after the publication of a positive review, he met the popular British actor Henry Irving. 2 years later, after Stoker's married to the well-known beauty Florence Balcom, Irving asked him to be a manager of the Lyceum Theatre, which he had acquired in London. Stoker moved with his wife to London and held the position of manager of Irving's theatre until the actor died in 1905. On New Year's Eve, 1879, Noel Irving Stoker's only son was born. In 1881, Stoker's first volume of short stories appeared, 100 on the Sunset, and 1819, his first novel, The Snake Passed. At the same time, the author began preparatory work of Dracula. Even so, he best now, but did not allow him to live solely on writing. After Irving's death, Stoker published.
Hi, I'm Dionisio, and I'm going to personally describe the characters in the novel titled Dracula. I'm going to start by describing Count Dracula. It's the longest description. He had a strongly clean face with the braids of his thin nose very high and the wings arched in a peculiar way. His forehead high and convex and hair sparse at the temples but abundant on the rest of his head. He's very bushy. Eyebrows almost meet in a frown and were made up of thick hair that seemed to curve, but is very profusion. The mouth, or that could be seen of and under the mustache, was firm and somewhat cruel, with singular sharp and white teeth. They protruded above his lid, the red color of which denoted amazing vitality for a man of his years. Otherwise, his pale hairs were slightly pointed at the top. He had a broad, strong chin and firm, if thin cheeks. The impression he processed was on extraordinary. Now I'm going to describe Van Helsing is the enemy of Dracula. He's a fearless doctor and vampire hunter. Finally, I will describe Mina. Mina is determined and brave. She's the protagonist of the novel, the most heroic.